Hey folks, it's time for the quote of the day. And I want to make it very clear that today's quote of the day and tomorrow's quote of the day are both going to be two people that have been some of the most important people in my life. Unfortunately, both of them passed away, and both of them in very much the same way. But I already know who tomorrow's going to be, and I know today's for sure. That being said, I want to mention this because this will give you an idea of how important these two people are to me. Today is also either today or tomorrow, because we're not really sure historically, uh, is Alexander the Great's birthday. I'm not quoting Alexander the Great, even though I named my son after Alexander the Great. Um, but these two people that I'm quoting, both today and tomorrow, are so important to me and who I am as a person that I really honestly, as much as I appreciate Alexander the Great and as much as I know about him, which I know a lot about Alexander the Great, I'm not gonna quote him today or tomorrow because amazingly enough, these two people that I'm quoting. So come back tomorrow because tomorrow you're going to see somebody else that is absolutely um, just one of the most important people in my life. Probably the most important person in my life. But today, maybe second. Maybe second. One of the greatest voices of all time. And I've made videos just about him before in the past, and I think that any opportunity I have to talk about him and to spread his message and just remember him, I'm going to take that opportunity. Today is the birthday of my favorite singer of all time, Chris Cornell. Uh, I just a legend, an icon. Just talking about him, I get emotional. I get tears in my eyes. He's such an amazing, talented person, but he was more than just a voice and smoldering good looks that sometimes made me question my own sexuality. Um, he was also just a good person. Now he had his faults, he had his shortcomings, like anybody does, and he was very open and honest about those. But in the end, a lot of the things that he did for charity and things like that, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, were just so impactful and so powerful and so meaningful that you know that he couldn't have arrived at this and making these decisions if he wasn't a phenomenal individual. Like I said, shortcomings, he's made mistakes, he's fucked up here and there, he's had some bad relationships, but and obviously like he carried a lot of weight on his shoulders, but um what we're going to talk about today is a song of his called The Promise. The Promise was the last song, solo song that he ever released. He released it, I want to say March of 2017, and he died by suicide in May of 2017. So this was the last song that he released, and I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it as we go. It's getting a little. I actually saw him in concert. I think it was in March of 2017. They had done a tour here, and I saw him. It was at once like now with historically looking back and things like that. It was profoundly important, but also very sad because I have this memory of him, and it was I don't know. It's hard to talk about, but we're going to talk about this song, "The Promise," and the reason I think that it's important. I'm going to read the lyrics to it, but I need you to know a little bit about why he wrote it. The Promise is the end credits song that plays at the end of the movie called The Promise. The Promise was a movie that came out late 2016 with Christian Bale, and it was a movie that it's historical fiction. What happens in the movie didn't actually happen, but the backdrop of how it's all happening was very historically accurate, and that is it's a love story sort of that takes place with during the Armenian genocide, which took place in like 1915 to 1916. We know that it was between 700,000 and like 1.5 million Armenian Christians that were killed by the Ottoman Empire at that point in time. This genocide is what sometimes they'll refer to as the first genocide in the modern era. It's what kind of pushed worldwide understanding of what this meant, and it obviously World War II really cemented that, and it was the Armenian genocide that moved lawmakers and litigators and so on and so forth to come up with international laws around genocide, which seemingly don't seem to matter right now. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up, is because when I hear The Promise today, when I hear the song, even though it's written for the Armenian genocide, I don't think about that anymore. Obviously, I think of Gaza, which is what most people think about when they hear that word, and the way that really nothing has been done. Like the U.S. and Israel have just basically just destroyed an entire country and destroyed an entire people, and nobody's really done anything about it. And seemingly there's a subsection of people that are like, yeah, they deserved it, and it's like, what the fuck? It's a genocide. Like they absolutely don't deserve this. You're talking about women and children, being destroyed, and that's what I think about when I hear this song. And so if your interest isn't already piqued by that, I think that if you just take a few minutes and go listen to it, whatever streaming service you have. The reason you want to do that today, especially, is because, like I said, it's his birthday, but every single cent that was made or that is being made on the play of the song The Promise by Chris Cornell goes to different refugee charities. Like, he started a foundation, and this was so important to him because when they were sending him screeners and things like that so that he could write the song, him and his wife sat there and watched, the early version of the movie, and they were so moved by it because obviously it's a great, like, they had sent him the script and everything, so he knew what was happening. He knew the historical precedent, but what he didn't know until it was, they saw the movie and they thought about it, was that she wouldn't have been there if her family hadn't essentially been displaced by that genocide. Like, they fled, and then they fled to Greece, and she became a Greek, and that's where that all is her family fled, and she's alive. She was alive at that point in time because they fled, and so they realized that they were literally, like, there's a history there. They were tied to this genocide, and so that's why he wrote the song, and that's why all of the funds go to charity. So I'm going to read the song now, and then I'll let you guys go. But if you have the time and you have the inclination, go look it up. You can watch it on YouTube. Watch the video. If you get a chance to watch the video for it, go watch the video for it, because it's profoundly important and moving. These are the lyrics to the song The Promise by Chris Cornell. If I had nothing to my name, with photographs of you rescued from the flame, that is all I would ever need, as long as I can read what's written on your face. The strength that shines behind your eyes, the hope and light that will never die. One promise you made, one promise that always remains. No matter the price, promise to survive, persevere, and thrive, as we've always done. And you said, the poison in the kiss is the lie upon the lips. Truer words were never shared. When I feel like lies are all I hear, I pull my memories near, the one thing they can't take. And one promise you made, one promise that always remains. No matter the price, I promise to survive, persevere, and thrive, as we've always done. The books still open on the table, the bells still ringing in the air, the dreams still clinging to the pillow, and the songs still singing in the prayer. And my soul is stretching through the roots to memories of you, back through time and space, to carry home the faces and the names and photographs of you rescued from the flames. And one promise you made, one promise that always remains. No matter the price, a promise to survive, persevere, and thrive, and dare to rise once more. A promise to survive, persevere, and thrive, and fill the world with life, as we've always done. That's one of my favorite Chris Cornell songs ever, and it was the last one he ever wrote, or released at least. And I think that it is very honest and pure and representative of who he was as a person. So go give that a listen. Go listen to any Chris Cornell you can today. Wish him a happy birthday, and look for tomorrow for another one. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. I'll talk to you soon.